Sohail, we were talking about this yesterday. You said that the DGCA and VSR are alleged to be hand in glove. I actually have a whistleblower's written statement to me. This is in writing from him. I am protecting his identity. He's worried about losing his job. He is presently inside this company, and he has decided to speak because he believes that this accident was not an accident at all. I want to start with the allegation that personnel in the DGCA, he took some names. I'm cautioning you here, I'm not taking those names. He took some names, even he said personnel inside the DGCA he believes are being paid or have been paid, and that's how VSR is getting away with non-compliance. Your comments?
So I will take names and I will be legally responsible. I don't give a toss. So let me tell you the name that is doing the rounds. I don't know if it's true or false, so that we are legally protecting ourselves. The name is Shweta Singh, whose name came up even during the Indigo crisis. Who she is, God knows. Have I met her in my life? Never. Do I plan to? Never. But Shweta Singh is a name that has been constantly coming up in all the responses I've got on my Twitter feed. B, this was the name that was being propped up even during the Indigo crisis as the person who is allegedly or ostensibly having taken money. That's number one. Number two, there is no denial about one fact, that the DGCA is in complete partnership or collusion, if one could say, with this particular firm. If you saw, and I'm amazed, and you have three veterans here so they can weigh in. This is the first time, Barkha, that the DGCA and the Minister for Civil Aviation, without an investigation, without any pending inquiry, have jumped the gun and said, no, this was a weather-related issue. The same weather-related issue was the phrase that was used in 2023 when another aircraft from the same company crashed in Bombay. Now, here's my question. If I don't know what the inquiry is saying, there is no investigation, the black box has just been recovered, how do you come to the conclusion that it's a weather-related issue? A, B, there are three pilots here. A plane would flip to its side in the manner that it has because of weather? I mean, who are you fooling? I mean, any person. These guys are pilots. I've never been a pilot in my life, but I fly almost as much as a pilot does. This is unheard of. Number two, if you see the CCTV footage, which is taken from
Which
shop,
which shows the plane flipping, or
shows
the other one?
no, the one which goes into a ball of fire.
Yeah, we'll show you that in just a moment. Keep going. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now you tell me, how on earth, this is the one I'm talking about, 8:45, this particular CCTV footage shows this ball of fire. There's another video which shows the plane flipping. In this video of 8:45 taken from the shop angle, the weather is pretty clear. Look at the weather here. I mean, the sky couldn't be bluer unless if it was in Delhi. So where have they come to the conclusion that it is a weather-related issue? So my point is as simple. Whether it is weather or not, the fact is that the DGCA has cast itself in grime and dirt because of the manner in which A, it conducts investigations, and B, in the way in which it regulates the aviation sector in India. I don't want to go back into history, but 22 crores a fine for Indigo for the kind of mess that was caused between December 3 and December 7. But that let it pass. Let's imagine that that's a fair fine, according to some people, mandarins. My problem, Barkha, which I told you yesterday also, is why do we not have people like these on the panel who are actually in charge and in the DGCA? What do goddamn bureaucrats know about aviation other than asking for free upgrades? What do they know? How are we allowing the aviation sector to continue to be mishandled and mismanaged with grave incompetence and at times ineptness, and we never seem to learn our lessons? Now, the AAIB has also not covered itself in glory. Today, we are raising the issue of a 2023 investigation on which only a preliminary report has been filed. Now, you tell me, isn't there a process by way of which either the government or the regulator, which is part of the government, flags the fact that this pending investigation has achieved 20%, 40%, 60%, 70%, that people are aware? Go to the DGCA website. The website is as opaque as Delhi's fog. There is no clarity on the website on anything, whether it is SOPs, protocols, investigation, passenger rights, charter of rights, nothing. So I'm saying, Andhi Nagari mein Kana Raja. Andher
Yeah.
Nagari mein Kana Raja. This is what we are seeing today. And it is sad that when we have great pilots, and I told you yesterday, when I was on the British Airways Advisory Board, always the one thing that Willie Walsh and everyone else would say, India's pilots and its crew are the finest in the world. Every time a crash happens, we take the easy way out of blaming the pilot. We don't talk about the manufacturer. We don't talk about the operator. We don't talk about the rules. We don't talk about the bending of the rules and the collusion between regulator and operator. And I think it's high time this happens. And I'm glad you're doing this twice in a row, 2 days in a row, because this is what we need. Otherwise, this too will be forgotten. We are
Yeah.
like Alice in Wonderland. We live from lesson to lesson, but never learn any lessons.
That's well said. And again, I must thank you, Sohail, for your plain speak and also for first flagging the murky history around VSR Ventures, which is how I started digging deeper. Very quickly, before I open it up for our three pilots to comment, basically, you have named names. You have spoken about a particular official in the DGCA, but you have also said that you too, yesterday, without a whistleblower's account on record, had heard about financial influence and impropriety. And today you have a whistleblower saying that basically this company was not following safety norms and it was getting away because personnel inside the DGCA were being paid off. This is a clear
Absolutely.
case
I was told.
of corruption.
And
If true.
I can take the Fifth Amendment, even though it's not valid in India, as someone who is a part of the media in a part. But the fact, Barkha, is that people are coming up and telling you these things. People are saying this on Twitter in response to that tweet that I put out.
Yeah.
And I was very clear. And look at this. The DGCA normally responds. The other day when I slammed them on some other issues, they will respond. On this, they haven't responded. If you have nothing to hide, you say bullshit, this is utter rubbish. These are the protocols that we have followed. No protocol was followed. Now you tell me, Baramati is a VVIP constituency. People are flying in and out. Today you had the Home Minister of India, the BJP President, the Maharashtra Chief Minister, all these chaps flying in and out. Have you upgraded the airport's instrumentation landing system? You can't. Do you have an ATC there? No. It's the damn Flying Institute at Baramati, which actually guides, because this is a VFR, a visual flying airport, VFA, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So even between yesterday in the morning and today, we haven't learned any lesson. God forbid something had happened today. Now,
Yeah.
the problem here is no one actually goes into the intricacies of these things, and we let this pass because human life in India means nothing. If it wasn't Ajit Pawar in this crash, we wouldn't be having this discussion. But in a way, irony as it may be, I'm glad that that is one service, if the late Ajit Pawar has done or will do, is that we overhaul the way we regulate our aviation sector.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's so, Sam, I saw you nodding when Sohail said this. Sohail, stay as long as you can. I know you have to hop
Yeah.
out for a meeting, but I'm going to open this up. Captain Sam Thomas, I saw you agreeing when Sohail made the point about if it weren't for a VIP on this plane, we won't even be discussing this. As always, we have seen the finger pointing begin at pilots. Again, I hold no brief for anybody. If it is a pilot error, let the evidence show that. But there is the shocking allegations that are coming from inside the company. This is somebody who is risking a lot to actually give me these details. Are you surprised? Are you shocked? Or are you like Sohail, basically not shocked because you were hearing this or in the know of this anyway?
Ma'am, good evening. Absolutely right. There are a couple of points that I need to highlight. One is I am surprised that you are surprised at these allegations. We've been in it. Everybody knows it. And the other thing is we are mostly enamored by Mr. Sohail Said's diction and the delivery of whatever he says, and the truth factor is tremendous. I wish I had such.
The truth factor is what matters more than the eloquence, even. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what I was shocked to hear yesterday on the same panel was Mr. Said put out a sentence to say that VSR can send its gundas behind me, I don't care. That is shocking to me. I mean, if that is going to be a fact, then we are really, really far away from, forget investigations. We are not even close
that
to
was not a
figuring
fact.
out.
That wasn't a fact. I was just saying that, we really don't care. I mean,
But can
if
I
they
ask
send
you what has
gundas-
been the reaction to the fact of what you said of the DGCA? Did you get calls from the government, from DGCA saying this is not true? Nothing?
No.
Just
No.
stony silence?
No. And, I mean, as Sam said, it'll take them a lot of courage to call me, because I put it out in the public domain. The only way to respond is put it out in the public domain, and then we'll have a discussion.
Yeah.
I'm not going to harbor calls or, people saying, oh, but we'll do this for you. I don't need VIP stickers for airports. I don't need car passes. I don't need anything. So,
Okay.
what the hell can they do?
Okay, Sam, sorry. Let
Yeah,
you finish your point. Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am, the third point is the VVIP. Firstly, it's a wrong usage of the term. VIP is the max you can use for anybody other than the president, vice president, and prime minister in the nomenclature. Now, there is a lot of unsaid pressure on pilots when we operate these flights. It's not directly the person in charge. Say, for instance, a particular minister. He will not put pressure on you. But these cronies who are with him will call you 25 times in about half an hour and tell you that it's imperative that the minister reach there at this time.
Yeah.
Having said that, now you had visual flight rules airport, and at 3,200 meters of reported visibility, how did you commence an approach? The second part of it is 3,200 is not 3,200. Here's a little bit technical factor that comes in. Without confusing the public, I'd like to just inform you that the serious details of this would be given by Captain Amit Singh. When there's a rising sun and the fog, there is a tunnel effect. This airplane was landing on runway 11. So you're looking directly into the sun, and that can cause a problem. The very fact that he made the first go around citing no runway in sight is very clear that the visibility was not sufficient.
Can I be direct? When you say there's pressure on pilots from political cronies, that minister has to reach so-and-so rally, the pilot clearly did a go around because he could not see the runway, or he did not think it fit to land the aircraft. But this second video, which shows the plane swerving, flipping midair, and lurching to the left before landing, tells you that this plane did not crash because of something going wrong in the landing. Something went wrong much earlier. Look at this video. The plane is swerving.
Yes, ma'am, I have seen it. It's a telltale sign of what has happened, but it's not correct to tell you that this is the only reason that it happened. When you spot a runway late, in low visibility with the rising sun, sometimes you spot the runway very late. Since you have already made a go around, you put pressure on yourself. There is this minister. Otherwise, what you would have done is just gone back to probably Indore or somewhere in or the designated alternate.
Basically, can I ask you this directly? If it weren't a politician on board, if it weren't a powerful, important person on board, the pilot in his own or her own estimation may have said, we cannot land in these conditions. But because there is so much pressure, you sometimes go against your own better judgment because you're under pressure to land the plane. Am I right in saying that?
It's very close, ma'am. Very close. It's not just politicians. We fly very high net worth individuals who, believe that if they miss that particular appointment, it's the end of the world. But what we'd like to tell them is, please, you are doing more harm to yourself by pressurizing the crew. There are various forms of pressurization.
Yeah,
and I want to come it's not always direct.
Yes, I understand. And that's one more element in this conversation. But I want to come back to the whistleblowers account and get reactions. Captain Thomas, you say you're not surprised. You're surprised that I'm surprised. I just think the fact that it can be so brazen, the fact that a youngish person who's risked everything to give me these details, even though he's scared of losing his job, Captain Randhawa, has come out with this. The federations, ALPA, you should be taking this up. What is going on here? The direct allegation is that safety norms, including the flying hours of pilots, are being manipulated on documents. CVRs are being left off. There is no SOP. The warnings from trainers are being ignored. And according to this whistleblower, the owner of this company gets away because effectively he's being accused of bribing personnel inside the DGCA. Suhail said this yesterday. He has taken names today. But I am saying a whistleblower is saying this, and we have to take it seriously.
Yeah, Barkha, I agree with my fellow panelists, Suhail, and later on, Sam also said, and you also have come out with certain findings. First and foremost thing, let me tell you that Baramati is first I will touch upon the airfield because I have been to Baramati. Baramati is a tabletop airport, slight tabletop airport, and it's 5,800 and the runway direction is 1129. Now, it is really bizarre that firstly, if you go around the fencing of that airfield, it is breached all sides. You find cattle and cows, they are grazing close to the runway. Okay, I've seen it, right? And I reported that matter that time to DGCA, and nothing happened. So I don't know whether they have done something about the perimeter fencing.
Okay.
The second point is there is no aid available, that landing aid, that is ILS or a VOR. It's a visual runway.
Yeah.
Now, the rules say that you should have 5 kilometers of visibility. The only case in which you can use the special VFR provision, which they started about 2 years back in DGCA, there has to be an approval given by the DGCA to use the special VFR in which you come down to 1.5 kilometers. That is given based on the experience level of the pilots and the company's record, and it is not easily given. Now, I am totally surprised when the weather was bad at Pune, when it had crossed Pune, this aircraft, and was handed over to Baramati. The visibility was below minima. It was below 5 kilometers. So at 3 kilometers, this is the AIB statement, 3 kilometers. How did the aircraft commence the approach? First of all, you are not supposed to commence the approach if the visibility is below minima, and the aircraft should have diverted, or if had the fuel, should have held on over the air. The next point, what rightly said that when you land into the sun, there is an illusion in the mind, in the pilot's mind, and when they see, then there is a type of illusion because there is a lot of glare because you're landing into the sun. And on top of that, the visibility is also 3 kilometers. So there is a factor of visibility, though.
But hang on. You're actually saying that the plane should have diverted. It should never have made that first approach where it had to go around. The plane should have turned back or gone somewhere else.
3 kilometers. 3 kilometers. Yeah. No one is talking about it. I've been harping upon since yesterday at every channel that no one is talking, including the minister. Minister just said that no, weather was okay. Weather was a criteria. There was fog. Where is fog? There is no fog. There is no mist. Their visibility was low. Secondly, there is a difference between the horizontal visibility and the slant visibility. That is another point to be considered. What you see horizontally may not be true when you see slant visibility, where what the pilots see when they are coming down. The next point, if you see the aircraft, if the runway is there, the aircraft is actually crashed on the left.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, you see the aircraft flipping to the left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, I feel this aircraft, Learjet 45, is a very high-speed aircraft and has high landing speeds. It's got very thin wings, and the span is quite big. It is very prone to tip stalling. So I fear there could have been a tip stall which will be found out in the DFDR. And
What is the tip stall? What is a
tip
tip
stall,
stall?
like whenever any aerofoil, it
Yeah.
reaches the critical angle of attack, it will stall because the lift is is
I
not
see.
available at that time, and drag increases, and
Understood.
there will be the rate of descent will increase, the aircraft may bank to one side, so all things. But in a tip stall, what happens, that tip stall can be on either wing.
So let me
And
interject here, Captain Adhama. Let me interject here because I want to get in Amit also for a first perspective. Basically, we've got two important points made by you and Sam. Sam is saying there's a kind of unspoken pressure on people when they're flying important people, on pilots when they're flying important people, to sometimes go against their technical judgment to land the plane. You are going one step further and you're saying this plane shouldn't have even made the first approach.
Yes. And I'll come to next point. If what Sam has said is right, we haven't learned lessons. See the fun. We lost Mr. Madhavrao Scindia in 2001 in an accident.
Yeah.
There have been 8 to 10 dignitaries after 2001 who have died till yesterday. Now,
Yeah.
what has the government done today? You boast upon that I am opening up 350 airports, so many airports. And when Mr. Scindia was the civil aviation minister, I had brought up to his notice that these Udan flights which go to all these VFR airfields, the flying clubs are operating, and you have no landing aids over there. What a situation. In America, even a small airport which is having one flying club has got these landing aids.
And
now, VVIPs are going. I will just tell you, when I was in DGCA, Mr. Praful Patel was the civil aviation minister, and he used to often go to Gondia. Now, Gondia is again a VFR airfield. When he was the civil aviation minister, and today we are in 2026, it is still a VFR airfield.
Wow.
So you see that nothing is progressing. We talk about, okay, 1,700 aircraft are going to come. We are going to be third largest. We are going to ask for disasters after disasters in this country if the things are not improved. And we are not actually...
And thank you for speaking so passionately, because it's true. We are in a year of a crash where the AIB has still to even respond to the Supreme Court. Amit, as you well know, is one of the petitioners. Tariq pe Tariq is carrying on. Now we discover that in this VSR Ventures, the 2023 crash that took place, the preliminary report ke baad, the final report has still not been submitted. It's almost coming to 3 years. I mean, it is shocking. And now, Amit, Captain Amit, when you connect this with the whistleblowers account, this is, I think, the CCTV from 2023, when the earlier aircraft, same model, same company, crashed in Mumbai. We don't have the final report of this crash in 2026. It is shocking. Now you connect it to the whistleblowers account, that what Sohail calls a collusion between certain members of the DGCA and this company. And I think Sohail or somebody else, I think Sohail only made this point, that in any other country, this charter would be grounded pending investigation. We haven't seen even that announcement. I want you to come back to the whistleblowers account. I want you to come back to what safety, when you hear somebody inside the system saying safety norm after safety norm is being violated, CVRs are put on off position, the number of hours that pilots are flying is being manipulated, is being falsified on documents, they're not being given adequate rest, there is no SOP, and there is now an allegation of financial payoffs. I mean, how does the ordinary person even begin to make sense of all this?
So in a safe environment, in a safety culture, the bottommost at the pyramid is what we call pathological culture. And the topmost is generative culture. Most companies, corporates work somewhere in between. Pathological culture is where you do nothing till you're caught. This is where we are. We continue to violate, continue to jump red lights till somebody catches us. And then we say, okay, tomorrow onwards, we'll do something. Or we pay off the traffic cop and then go and then do the same things till we are caught again. So that continues to be the culture because nobody is interested in changing the culture. We are we are working in silos, all departments working in silos, and we try to tinker a few things here and there. So in order to reach the top or become the topmost, we have to change the culture first, because the culture is the driving force. It is not the technology or the aircrafts, the people, software and everything. The people are more important, what the people are thinking and how they are, on what basis are they making the decisions. So if there is a collusion, which is quite clear, because there is, every time we address the symptoms, blaming the pilot is only addressing the symptom. One of the very well-known safety analysts internationally, Mr. Hudson, he once quipped that who is the first person to arrive at the scene of the accident? There was a pause and he said the pilot. So the pilot is the first person. But that is a proximate cause. But the root cause is well deep inside.
What leaps out for you, Amit, in both the whistleblowers account and what you've seen so far in the reactions of the regulator or the government or even the company itself?
So there is no reaction. If you listen, like a professional company, if there's an accident, the CEO will come, he will speak to the public, but the CEO is not an operational expert. An operational expert has to come along with him, who will tell you the technicalities, whether the aircraft was serviceable, not serviceable, crew was trained or not. So both in Air India and this case, if the minister is giving a statement, minister obviously has a very little understanding based on what his advisors have told him. So weather cannot cause an accident. Like fog or snow, they cannot cause an accident. If I'm flying, there's a cloud in front of me, a huge cloud. That cloud alone is not doing anything to me unless I go inside the cloud. So when the elements come together, then the risk increases. So weather will not cause an accident unless I go inside the weather and start doing something. So weather alone is harmless. Now, if at Baramati the weather was poor, then who permitted the flight from Bombay to Baramati?
Yeah, which is the point
first criteria of a visual approach is that if I have the runway in sight and I can maintain the runway in sight, then I'm cleared for a visual approach. If I say I do not have the runway in sight, nobody will clear me for the visual approach. How was the aircraft cleared for a visual approach? Because the ATC officer there is not a licensed person. He is from a flying school, hired by a flying school, maybe a ex-ATC officer or whatever. They're not licensed people. And of course, that VIP pressure is there. But first thing is, in the whole system, it is not the pilot making a mistake. It is people making a mistake, and the last mistake is made by the pilot. So had the error been caught before, had the aircraft not been cleared, of course, this would have been avoided. And who's reporting the visibility? Again, is it the Met person, official Met person, IMD person? No, it is the some local FTO person. So is it the real visibility, or he is sticking to the minimum criteria? So there are so many checks and balances before it reaches the pilot.
I think that's very
start from the other way around.